So it's just so impressive how it really limits that risk tolerance that you need. Whereas someone like yourself starting the business really took a much greater risk. So someone in corporate America that doesn't necessarily want to take that huge leap of faith, you're going to go through a full education process so that we can see, maybe it may not even be right for you, but at least you can be comfortable making that decision so that if you are one of those, according to Dennis Schooley in my last interview, talked about how 70% of people have thought about business ownership, but only a percentage of people actually take those steps. So allowing you to make that educated decision on your future, on your family's future, more importantly. So kind of going back to your process, now so have you owned a Lapels dry cleaner? Have you owned a franchise yourself? I know you're the CEO.
Yeah, one thing that I think is helpful for me in the job that I do day in, day out is that I was a franchisee in my past. I remember in the hotel world, I said, hoteliers are great franchisors and they do an incredible job. But there were those things that drove me crazy about things that they did. You'd have a
Yeah.
guy complain about their sausage being overcooked,
Yeah.
and it felt like the world was going to come to an end if that was one of their higher end customers. And it was like our relationship that we had had for years just went out the door because somebody's sausage was overcooked. So there were things that I realized I liked and I didn't like about my franchisor, and I'm sure people would say that about me as well, and virtually every franchisor. But I think having that perspective of being on the other side is super helpful. So to answer your question, yes, I am a franchisee. I own and operate 4 franchises in the greater Boston market. And
Mm.
very often what happens in my crew is, I'll get on a marketing committee call as the CEO of the company to listen in on, what we're planning for next year with the brand fund. And I will then flip my hat around and say, okay, well, franchisee who's paying into this fund, here's what I'm concerned about. Here's what's important
Yeah.
to me. I need analytics. I can't throw dollars at branding that you tell me is going to work. I need to see an actual result. So I think that is very helpful, and I know that trend is starting to wane away from franchisors being in the operating business. But for me personally, it just sort of keeps me honest and keeps my ears open, and helps me to understand the business. It's super easy for me to make things seem really easy as the CEO of the company.
Yeah.
But I know how hard it is to run the business, any business. I know people are getting in early, and they're dealing with challenges day in and day out that are different this week than last week. So I understand that and appreciate all that, and I just think that makes me more effective at the job I do.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And another thing that I always tell, really the partners that I represent when they're evaluating the right franchise opportunity is, first of all, the CEO, how involved are they in the business? The daily business. Do they own franchises? How much, are they really involved? And also on top of that, the franchise developers, the business development people that they speak to, have they owned franchises? Or is it something they're passionate about?